Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
She called a weatherman a Chinaman. She said I was a wasp. She said
she called you a wasp.
A wasp, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, and she
know what a wasp is.
Okay,
all right. Okay.
She said she called me milk toast at one point.
The whole purpose behind law is to right wrong. I want justice to be something that isn't this foreign concept.
Justice knows no boundaries. The truth will be heard. Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. TV news reporter Kelly Parks is suing her former boss Ian Dodge in the amount of $5,000. She says the defendant got her fired when he shared her private tape with her co-workers. Mr. Dodge claims the plaintiff used company property to make the tape and was fired as a result.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. You're a reporter out of a job now.
Yes, unfortunately.
Over an unfortunate situation. And you want Mr. Dodge to pay $5,000 because?
Because my reputation has been run through the ringer due to libel and slander on his part.
And what was libelous and slanderous about what he did? What did he do? He
obtained a video of me at a party. It was a private party, me and my close friends and my boyfriend, Eddie. Eddie filmed the video. I did some jokes on there, some impressions of coworkers, colleagues, Ian himself. And he got a hold of the video and distributed it online.
Is that true, Mr. Dodge?
It's true that the video ended up online. It was a mistake and an oversight on my part and the part of human resources at our station. I should point out, though, that the things that were said on the tape were not just jokes. They were pejoratives and ethnic slurs based on myself, some of the other reporters at our station, and other stations in the metro area. It was completely unacceptable.
You weren't
How
there.
were you able to get this information?
She left her cell phone, as it turned out, in the editing bay. It's a black iPhone 5. It's a standard phone. I wasn't sure whose it was. It chirped. I wanted to see whose it was because she wasn't there. I opened it up. I noticed there was my name on it. It said, "Ian, this is hilarious. This is a hilarious version of Ian." That's my name.
Someone was responding
to a video that she had heard that her
yes,
boyfriend
my friend
had filmed.
Cheryl that I worked with at the station, who was also at the party. I was just sending her the video to show her so she could remember. She was laughing. We were all laughing.
Cheryl's not an on-camera.
So you were aware that this video was on your phone?
Yes, absolutely.
And you're at work disparaging colleagues on a video that you are now allowing other people at work to potentially see. Why would you do that?
Well, I sent it to Cheryl because she had been at the party. She was there joking with us. She wasn't directly on camera, but she was making jokes as well. We were all doing impressions. I just thought I would send it to her.
Let me let her finish talking.
I just thought I would send it to her and be like, you know, remember how much fun we had, kind of thing. It was between her and I. It had nothing to do with him needing to see it, him needing to distribute it on the internet.
Well, once you saw it on the phone, what did you do?
I immediately uploaded it to preserve it because in these situations I have found that other employees, when you discipline them or you find things of this nature, will immediately destroy it or erase it. When you're a reporter, you sign a ethics clause that says you are beholden to a higher standard of morality.
I'm making it clear in my own mind. Kelly is the reporter.
She's the reporter, yes, sir.
Cheryl is the producer.
That's correct.
Cheryl is the person that you sent the tape to.
Yes.
Yes.
The two of you work at this station.
Correct. We worked together.
New Station 8 in Miami.
All right. And your point about Cheryl was what?
That she's not an on-camera personality. She's not a community. She's not out front representing the station in the community.
That's not why he didn't attack her. It's because she's not actually on the video. You couldn't get her.
No, but the point is.
Well, that makes sense to me, though.
That she's a public figure. She's on television 5 nights a week.
Well, what exactly were you saying on the video?
There were some comedy jokes, some things that
They were ethnic slurs, is what they were.
Look,
impressions of me, impressions of people from our sports team, from our weather desk,
Yeah, and they all thought it was funny. They all make those jokes when we all have our company events and everything.
You're
that's private
having
from the public.
conversations on a video, and you're talking about people in-house. Were the statements being made slurs? Were there any sort of pejorative remarks
Yes.
made?
That's all a matter of opinion.
All right. So if we're talking about people that work with you, your coworkers,
Yes.
what sort of things was she saying about the coworkers?
But she called our weatherman a Chinaman, which is super offensive. It was completely inappropriate. She's a public figure, and it doesn't even matter to me that it was on video. She was at a bar
The
saying these
gentleman
things.
that is your weather reporter is Asian.
He's Asian, that's correct.
Did you refer to him as a Chinaman?
I did
And
some
she did a very
impressions.
horrible impression of him.
Again, at a private party
Do
in
you
front of
see
a
how
group of
if
my
you are
friends.
Chinese, having someone refer to you as a Chinaman, and this is someone that you work with, you could see how that would be offensive.
Absolutely, which
Do you
is
think that that would impact your working relationship with that person?
if they were to see that, yes, but it was not intentional for anyone to see that other than the people who attended the party.
So it's okay for you to say these things as long as nobody knows.
You
Is
know,
that what you're telling me?
they could have videos making fun of me all day long, and I don't know of it, and they're
on
not
the
getting
news
fired
5 nights
for
a week.
it.
She's on television, Your Honor.
Coming up on America's Court.
She called a weatherman a Chinaman. She
That's
said
it.
I was a WASP. She said
She called you a wasp.
a WASP, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, and she
I know what a
called
wasp
me,
is. All right. Okay.
She said she called me milk toast at one point.
And later,
Blood starts squirting everywhere. My girlfriend drives me back to the clubhouse. We get in her car.
First
and
of
she
all, I
drives
don't
me
know
to
what
the
sort of slice you would have.
Excuse me. Nobody's talking to you.
closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Kelly Parks, who is suing Ian Dodge for defamation.
What was it that she said?
She called her weatherman a Chinaman. She
That's
said
it.
I was a WASP. She said
She called you a wasp.
a WASP, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, and she
I know what a
called
wasp
me,
is. All right. Okay.
She said she called me milk toast at one point. One of
Milk toast as in kind of bland, vanilla.
bland, boring, stiff white guy, I guess.
I didn't come up with that one, Your Honor.
Okay.
Did you
well,
say those words on the video?
I did, absolutely, yes.
All right.
There's no denying.
And this is your boss.
This is my boss.
I'm just making sure I'm clear. And this is your boss.
This is my boss.
Our makeup artist Anton, he happens to be homosexual. She did a crude impression of him as I guess you would say, a flaming gay, swooshy homosexual.
So, is that true?
Yes.
All right.
This is my boyfriend, Eddie, who filmed the video with my phone.
Sir, come on up. What's your last name?
Ruiz.
All right. How do you know he was the one filming it?
You could hear him on the video.
And you knew him.
I've seen him before.
You
yeah.
knew who he was
I
in
knew who he
relation
was,
to
yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah.
All right.
Kelly
to me.
talks about him a
Why
lot.
are you here, sir?
Truth is that everybody that was mentioned in the video was all there. We were all having drinks. We were all laughing.
I wasn't
Was
there,
the
Your Honor.
Asian weatherman there?
He was
No.
at the party. Yes, he was.
He wasn't there when I did the impression.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? You sure you want him to keep talking?
Not particularly, Your Honor. But
All right.
still, I don't feel that I did anything that should have been publicized on the internet and prevent me from getting other jobs. If he was personally offended,
What,
wanted
did you
to
fire
fire
her
me.
based on this, or did you go run it through HR? What happened?
When I presented the video to HR, the determination was that this is unacceptable. She's a public figure. She signed a contract that said as such that she would hold herself up to a higher moral code. Clearly, she failed at that, and we did terminate her.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, and you talk about, it's not any sort of defamation, because everything about it is true. I mean, this information is honest. Now, it may be a publication of private material, you know, an invasion of your privacy.
Yes.
Now that, okay, so let's look through that. If we're talking about publicizing information, it has to be published. It has to be of a private nature, so we can check that box. It has to be offensive, clearly it is, and it can't be of public concern. Because otherwise you are entitled to receive damages. And based on the evidence and testimony before this court, the gavel comes down in favor of the defendant. Because it's that fourth element. because you are a public figure. And whether you realize it or not, I don't care if you're in LA, Miami, DC, Chicago, Detroit, Louisiana, Texas, Wisconsin, people keep track of reporters. You cannot say that this is not a public concern. So you don't have a case. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
I feel that the judge's ruling was wrong. My privacy was invaded, and he should have to pay.
Whether you're a newscaster or not, your words can come back to haunt you.
And coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
Blood starts squirting everywhere. My girlfriend drives me back to the clubhouse. We get in her car.
First
She
of all, I
drives
don't
me
know
to
what
the
sort of slice you would have.
Excuse me. Nobody's talking to you.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Sandra Turner is suing golf course manager Ronald Berger in the amount of $7,108. She says her nose was broken by a flying ball while playing on the defendant's property. Mr. Berger claims that accidents happen and golfers play at their own risk.
Golf course. Broken nose. Talk to me.
On the night of the incident, I went to...
You were golfing at night or during the day?
Well, it happened during the day. I was at the hospital at the night.
Got it.
Yes.
But the incident started in the day.
Yes.
Let's start there.
All right. So, the day of question, I was at Shady Brooks Golf Course, country club in Pennsylvania.
Is that your first time there?
It was.
Where, are you from Pennsylvania?
I am.
All right. Are you a regular golfer?
I am. I've golfed for 4 years.
Any particular reason why you hadn't been to this particular location?
My parents are country club goers at a different golf course, and so my girlfriends and I decided to try this one out for her bachelorette party.
Oh, it was a bachelorette party on the golf course.
Yes.
That's different. How many girls are we talking about, ladies?
5.
5 ladies. And all of them golfers as well?
Yes.
And so what was the plan? That you were just going to go out and play golf, maybe have some cocktails?
Yeah, absolutely.
Girl talk sort of thing?
Yeah, relaxing, something active, because all of us are very active, and the golf course is really near all of our dwellings, so we decided to go to this golf course and try it out.
All right. And how long has the golf course been in existence, sir?
45 years.
All right.
And I have managed it myself 12 years, very proudly. It's a historical landmark. Mm-hmm. And
had you had any problems before with people injuring themselves on this particular hole?
Never. Never.
So let's talk about this particular hole.
Yes, so there is a fairway that is adjacent to the 16th fairway. It's the 15th hole. There is a railroad track that is covered by some shrubbery and overgrowth that I was unaware of. When I went to tee off for the 16th hole, I squared off and...
You said you weren't aware of the train track? You couldn't see the train track?
I could not.
You're on the 16th hole.
Yes.
And you're telling me that this railroad track was covered up to the extent that you had no way of knowing that it was there.
Absolutely, I have some...
Your Honor, she couldn't see the
Show me.
train tracks because she was drunk. She had quite the blur going on.
All right, let's take a look at that on the plasma. Because when I see this golf, and it looks like it's a very nice location, there's nothing...
Thank you, Your Honor.
There's nothing ambiguous about that's a train track.
From my standpoint, I was below, and the shrubbery and the trees were covering the train tracks, so I was unaware that they were there. I was not in the sand trap that you can see at the very left-hand corner.
But you would not be teeing off near the tracks.
The tee was on the other side of the sand hole.
Had you been drinking?
Yes. It was a bachelorette party. We were celebrating.
Right.
We had a bottle of champagne between the 5 of us.
You had more than a bottle. How many bottles did you have?
We had a few drinks over the course of the
Because
day.
5 people cannot have a party with 1 bottle.
Your Honor, would you like to know...
I got this. I don't need your help. Correct?
Correct.
Right. So if it was a bachelorette party and there were 5 women, we're starting at 3 bottles.
Coming up on America's Court.
Blood starts squirting everywhere. My girlfriend drives me back to the clubhouse. We get in her car
First
and
of
she
all, I
drives
don't
me
know
to
what
the
kind of slice you would have.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Nobody's talking to you.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Sandra Turner, who is suing Ronald Berger for personal injury.
Now, this track clearly is running throughout the course, right?
Yes, it's a historic track. There are no trains running on it. It's just a beautiful. We are very proud of that track on our course. It's
But
part
there's
of
no other. It's just aesthetic at this
aesthetic.
point. Because it's not in use.
No.
All right. And you're at your tee off. Take me from there.
All right, so I'm teeing off with my 9-iron, and I go to swing. I slice it. It veers to the right. It ricochets off of the tracks, and then it comes back, and I don't see it because of the brush, and it hits me in the nose. Blood starts squirting everywhere. My girlfriend drives me back to the clubhouse. We get in her car,
First
and
of
she
all, I
drives
don't
me
know
to
what
the
kind of slice you would have.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Nobody's talking to you. Go ahead.
So she drives me back to the clubhouse where we get in her car and she drives me to the hospital.
Got it.
I then have an emergency medical procedure so that I can deal with my broken nose.
I see the injuries. You're playing golf. You hit the ball that broke your nose.
Yes.
When you step on a golf course, do you assume the risk that you may be hit by a ball?
Yes.
Yes. Which is why, Mr. Berger, when people are golfing, what's the term that they use before they swing?
Forward.
Forward. Why do they say forward? A ball is coming. Who can anticipate the person who swings is the person that gets hit? Who could possibly anticipate that?
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel has to come down in favor of the defendant. One, you enter onto a golf course at your own risk. You assume the risk. It is foreseeable that you could possibly be injured. You caused your own injury. There is nothing that the golf course could have done to prevent you from having this situation happen because you didn't intend for it to happen. I understand this is a lot of money, but you cannot sustain your claim here. Your matter's dismissed. Now you see what happens when you don't talk?
Thank you. Yes.
Case closed.
Let's go.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
There really should be a sign about the train tracks. I have a broken nose and I have to pay for the bill.
Get drunk at the golf course, break your nose. It's your fault. I'm sorry.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.